What up, all my fight fans? All right. So I want to ask you guys something. What do you think is going to happen with Tony Ferguson? After everything that just happened and everything that went down, um, what do you think is going to be next for him? You think he's going to stay at lightweight, or you think he's going to go and continue his reign at, well, not much of a reign, excuse me, but continue him fighting at welterweight? And all things considered, he definitely did look good still. He looked good. He looked like he was doing his thing. He was basically Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson likes to come in with those elbows, likes to come in awkward, likes to throw in weird shots. Every time he throws one shot, he likes to do a quick turnaround, throw an elbow, throw a spinning back fist. He's really good with his kicks. He overall, all things considered, he still was actually really good in that Nate Diaz fight, and he shouldn't be disappointed at all. The fact that matter is he did come in short notice, just like everybody else came in short notice. And that Nate Diaz, even though he got the victory, he was an OG. If you're gonna lose to somebody, you might as well lose to somebody at that caliber. Nate Diaz has been around forever. You got all these other guys that he lost to, and some that weren't at the greatest levels, but some that actually were champions. So Tony Ferguson has lost to a lot of champions. Benil Dariush, we're still wondering how good he really is. Maybe that was just an off night for Tony Ferguson. But you look at Charles Oliveira, you got the champion, possible pound for pound number 1 right now. Then you got Justin Gaethje. He's definitely a champion or former interim champion and definitely top 3 lightweights right now. And then you also got Michael Chandler, could easily be contendering for a championship himself. So yeah, he didn't lose to any punks, and now he loses to Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz, again, future Hall of Famer for sure, great fighter all around. So yeah, with all things considered, what do you think is going to happen next for him? Me personally, I would like to see him back at lightweight. I feel like that's really his home, unless the weight cut was getting too much for him, unless the weight cut was just getting more and more brutal for him. Then I can understand why he might want to move up. But I would like to see him at a lower caliber. I don't want to see him in there with like a top 5 or even a top 10. I would like to see him get a few more wins under his belt. I would like to see him, dust off that cobwebs just a little bit. That's if he's going to try for a title fight. If he's going to try one more time to go for a title fight, unless he's just going to stay in there like a Donald Cerrone, like a Jim Miller, guys who are not necessarily going to try to face for a championship. They're just going to go and just want to fight. In that case, I would like to see him again, not against older guys. Maybe go in there against another Rafael dos Anjos, possible rematch. You got Jim Miller, who's still there. I don't think he retired yet. And these are all guys in lightweight. Then up in the bigger division, you still got guys like Neil Magny, which I don't necessarily see him too much against. And there's a few other fighters he can actually challenge and such. And I don't see why not. Sure, that would be actually pretty cool. But again, as Tony Ferguson being a championship caliber fighter now, that's hard. You look at him, look at what he's been able, look what's been happening with him, and you see the fights he's been in with like guys like all these top contenders, and he's just been getting dominated left and right. So going in there with Chandler, going there with Gaethje, going there with Oliveira, going there with Dustin Poirier, I don't like it for Tony Ferguson at this stage of his career. I would honestly, my personal opinion, I know I'm asking you guys what you think, but my personal opinion is I would like him just to be a fighter. Go in there and fight. Don't go in there try to be a champion. Maybe go in there and let's see how he does. Let's give him a few fights, maybe 2 or 3 fights in the bottom ranking, and then let's see how he's looking, and then maybe give him another ranked opponent. My personal preference would be him at lightweight against Dan Hooker. That would actually be a very good fight because Dan Hooker is kind of going on his own losing streak as well. So that would actually be a very fun fight itself. And at welterweight, I really don't see very many good options, honestly, because I think these guys are just so much more bigger and stronger than Tony Ferguson is. And that's just my personal evaluation of him as I look. I'm just like, I can't see him in there against a Leon Edwards, a Kamaru Usman, a Kobe Covington. I can't see him with all these guys because those guys are huge. They're not. They're definitely much more stronger, much more bigger. Everything that Tony Ferguson does, these guys do it at a higher, bigger level than he does. So that's just my personal preference. My personal opponent for Tony Ferguson, I would love to see him against a Dan Hooker. That would actually be a very fun fight in my idea. But yeah, other than that, he still looked good. All things considered, it it happens, but no, what? No, excuse me, that doesn't happen. But it does happen sometimes with the change of opponents. But under the circumstances, I still completely feel like it was bullshit with what Hamza did. But nonetheless, he still got the fight that he wanted. We got the fight we wanted. Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. Really good fight. I really enjoyed it. I know he had a great time. That was unfortunate with his knee. Or not his knee, his shin. Yeah, that was a bad cut, a real bad cut. Good God. And he was getting tagged up here and there, but again, he was looking good. He was in the fight. He wasn't getting dominated, and he wasn't getting destroyed. So I would definitely enjoy and definitely would love to see him back. Maybe take a little time off. Maybe it'll take some time to get adjusted to things. But yeah, nonetheless, my personal preference would be him and Dan Hooker. But what about you guys? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know who you guys think he should face. Let me know what division he should go in. And let me know if you even think he should come back at all. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.